I'm back, you guys. Sorry about that. My video cut off, and I think it was because something that might allow my son to download. So, whoa. Don't want me to get this story out tonight. Okay. Okay. Um, Back to the story time. Um, okay, she would let me go. So I was at the window. Went upstairs in my bedroom at the window, and my window had a roof on it. So I got up out there, got out of the window, got on that roof, and I guess some of my Jersey fam hadn't. Sorry guys, somebody sending me a message. I guess my Jersey fam didn't even know the story at the time. I guess maybe some of my girlfriends did, the ones that had to dock me overnight. But I'm getting to that, of course. So I jumped. I got it. I put my window up. I lift my window up. Got out on the roof. I was only one of those edgy girls, dangerous. I wasn't afraid of anything. So that was just me, a little Tom girl. So I guess I decided I could do a little stunt. I just had it in me, you know what I'm saying? So it was what it was at that time. I'm just a little down to earth chick. So hey, I've been there, done that. But of course, what I usually always put on Facebook on my little script inside of how I'm used to the boy thing, I gear more towards the guys than I do to the women, because the women always gave me trouble. That's another story, which is the truth. But I've always been a guy girl, so just like to hang out with the boys. I can relate to them. So anyway, because I am part man and one man, so we all are. So hey, but anyway, getting back, I just had to say that it's just me. I like that, but getting back at the story where I got on the roof and I jumped off of the roof. First, I looked a bit down there, and I had a thought of going. There are poles or whatever that was hooked and connected to my roof, and I was actually wanting to do it the easy way and just slide down and just kind of like walk down on something. But it didn't happen that way. Of course, the devil got in me, and I know it was the enemy, and I actually could have gotten killed that night, really. But I mean, what I had in me was what I had in me. I was just that macho type of girl at that time. I don't know who knew it, but I did. I guess that's all they need to know. But anyway, I did that. End up jumping off of there, and at that moment, though, that's why I knew it was the enemy. At that moment, it's like everything started spinning, going around real fast, and it's like everything was like in slow motion. And as it was getting dark, the sun was going down. I took everything was so fast, and I jumped immediately. I hit the ground. I was fine. I hit that ground. I was booking. I was balled up. I was doing one of them numbers, and I looked back at the window, and then my window, of course, was up, and when I jumped, then immediately when I jumped at that time, I could hear my mother say, because we had like a screen sliding door in the back, and it was in the back where I jumped. And of course, I can go like through the path like of houses and apartments or whatever in the back, nobody could see me. So she said, one thing. I think she was talking to my sister. One thing, I believe that fool of yours, sister, done jumped already. She done jumped out of that window. That fool done jumped. That's what she said. And I heard, and I was like, oh, well. And I was gone. I was out of there. It's funny and it's not funny, because I know I put my mother through, at that time. But it wasn't purposely. I loved her dearly. And I know she loved me. We were like two peas in a pie. So, that's where I got all my teaching, my knowledge, my strength, all that above. And I'm so grateful to God for her for that, And she, in the community, in the neighborhood, she was loved. People loved her. They wouldn't cross her because she knew she was one of those have to do women like this, She was she was macho, like, you know, and she was kind of thick, and they wouldn't bother. And then, you know, she had that demeanor where, you know, she would she wouldn't really have to demand respect, but they would respect her. They really would. They would respect her, and then I just loved it because we were all like family out there. You know, that's why I miss my Jersey fam. But let me close this window a bit. Excuse me. All these nets are coming in. The air felt good. Too many nets though. But anyway, I ran back as far as I could. Was at one of my girlfriend's houses, and that's who I actually wanted to hang out with. But you know what? Backing up, I remember backing up. I went, before I jumped out of the window, I went out of my front door. And I just tried her. And I believe I actually tried her 3 times. That very last time was the incident where I got hurt when I got where I was going. But the first and second time I went and came back. But the very second time, I remember, I went in the front door, came back. She came back, my mother came back in the back of apartments where I went to see one of my girlfriends. And she came back there with a plastic bat. About that size, I guess you could say. You know, those bats that come with the ball for baseball. She came back there with a plastic bat on me. And I was like, what's she doing? And I was like, she is really embarrassing me. So, you know, of course, I went on like I need to do, but I was talking back, of course. I said, well, you didn't have to come down with the bat. You embarrassing me like that. You know what I mean? So, make a long story short, went back in the house. This is the last time when I got out of the window, jumped out the window, and went back there again for the last time. So, what had happened was, she said she wasn't, I guess that was her last straw. She wasn't going to come and, you know, look after me again. So, what happened was I went to hang out with my girlfriends. A lot of people thought it was, especially when I told the story before to people, they actually thought it was a guy. I wasn't going, I would hang out with guys, like, as a homie type of thing or whatever, flirtatious thing or whatever it may be, but it wasn't to go and be with a guy. Because she would allow me to do that with my sister, just to hang out, and I would be hanging out with, you know, to parties and stuff like that, house party stuff, with my sister, with guys. So, at that time, it was they were girls that I was trying to hang out with, some of my friends. And I went back there, it was late, and they were like, girl, what happened? And then I started limping all of a sudden. And then I started feeling pain. It was in my ankle. And I sprained my left ankle. I believe it was my left, because I did both at one time, but not at the same time. It was a different incident. But the girl snuck me in her house, because her mother was there, had gotten off work a little earlier, and snuck me in her house. Her mom was asleep, snoring, killing it, calling hogs. She docked me all night long with ice on my ankle. I was like, OMG. I was in the worst of pain ever. This is what happens to us when we become rebellious and don't listen. Things happen to us. Oh my goodness. And things have happened to me through rebellion. But man, I was out of school like a whole week or two. When I went to the doctor, they told me I had to do nothing but soak my foot and ankle in Epsom salt and keep it propped up. I couldn't do anything ever. It was just a miserable time for me. I don't know if they gave me antibiotics or what it was that they did, but it was miserable. I was on crutches. So I mean, you know, that was almost just about one of the worst times of my life. It wasn't embarrassing, but it was one of the worst times. So I hope you guys have understood you know, the meaning of this whole video, and get your kids to understand that. All right, Fly wants to see me now. Jesus. But yeah, that was you know, that was really something. And from then on, do you not know, I listened to my mother, and I was very close to her, and no one could break us apart. A lot of people thought that my mother was actually keeping me under her wing, but at that time, I learned my lesson, and much as I love my mother, I never gave her an ounce of trouble ever since that incident had happened. So yeah, you guys, I'm going to end this video now, and you all have a blessed night, and you be blessed, and hope you enjoyed my story time. Thank you guys for watching.